What's happening? I'm Michael and this is Budget Builds. Welcome back, or if you're new to this channel, we save rusty, crusty old cars from junkyards and scrapyards and places like that. What is happening, Budget Builders? Welcome back to the channel. Once again, I want to thank everyone so much for all the positive love and support that we've had so far on the channel. Today we got something new for you. Took about a 3-hour drive up into the Tennessee mountains yesterday to pick up some stuff, some junk. And but let me show you what we got going on here. This here is a 76 MG Midget that's been off the road since 07, so not too long, about 12 years. This is one that we're going to get cleaned up and get going and probably resell, but the reason that we went out and bought this car is, as you can see, it's got the roll bar and that nice hardtop. We're going to end up sticking that on our MG, and it came with tons and tons and tons of other parts. We just have parts everywhere. Pretty cool tonneau covers and more tops, bunch of new seals and gaskets. Also came with a parts car. As you can see, something funky's going on here. Now this car is rough. To some, this one was just too far gone to possibly think about restoring. And it is a parts car. And we were going to bring it home. We didn't want to make that drive again. So we kind of made this happen. As you can see, here's some pictures here of that. As you can see, we made it go on the trailer. Yes, before long we need to get another trailer. Hey, I did weld the fenders up though, so they're not as bad. But this is a pretty decent little car. She's got some Bondo and stuff in it, but overall it's got a really nice little interior. And I think it'll make someone a nice little driver. So as you can see here, that's not a 1500 like this one would have originally came with, but it does have a little set 1275 with a Weber setup on it. You know, still a pretty little peppy setup. I think, you know, this one is the later one, probably makes 54 horsepower or so. With that Weber, probably doesn't make any difference, but it's on there. A little bit more reliable. It does have the little rib, it does have the ribbed 4-speed in it, so that's a pretty decent little transmission. Pretty decent heater box. But really not a bad looking little car, and the color's growing on me. This baby poop brown. But we're going to get this little car off the trailer. We're going to get it running, snatch some parts off of it that we need, and move it on to the next person. And I'm going to take you guys along with me. Real quick, hiding down in there, I don't know if you can see it, but this one has a, I'm not sure if it's factory and aftermarket oil cooler. Pretty stocky little header and a full exhaust on it. So this might be a hot little motor. All right, well, there you have it. The pretty one's off the trailer. It's a shame it's a roundy, but man, it's a rough little car. No trunk floors left or anything. Floor pans are shot. And it's missing this chunk now, but it was a long drive and it was coming back with us. So we're gonna move around a little bit, and it's gonna be time to get this sucker rolled off so we can start seeing if we can get it running. All right, y'all, well there it is. We got the little car popped off. Need any MG parts. We have stuff absolutely everywhere. There's a few odds and ends that we're going to be saving for the beige car and for our orange car. Obviously, like the roof and roll bar. But we ended up, I will tell you guys, we ended up paying $1,200 for all of this. And, you know, the tall roll bars go on moss for, it costs $700 plus on moss. Then you got $400 or $500 worth of hardtop. And so I think we did really good as far as what we bought. But let's go ahead and get this little car going. Let's start messing with it, see if that motor spins over freely, and see if we can get it running. All right, so the battery's got a little voltage, not much. We're gonna throw the charger at 1.4, which for how many years it's been sitting here, that's pretty crazy. Probably won't do anything, but shoot, it's worth a try. You see this one's got the Weber, like I said, the oil cooler here, the nice valve cover, Pierce intake. It's got a header and full exhaust. So this one was probably a little bit of a hot rod. We're gonna throw the motor does spin over freely, so that's nice. We're gonna throw the charger on the battery, see if we can get it to boost up a little bit. See if we can turn it over. We are missing a coil, so I'm gonna dig around and find one, and let's see if we can get this thing getting some spark. All right, y'all. Let's go to get these spark plugs pulled out so we can get an idea of what we're working with in these cylinders. Overall looks pretty good. Number one looks pretty good as well. All right. Just wanted to show y'all while I had the battery charging, Dad, snuck over here and pop this valve cover off because we're going to keep that aluminum one and put a factory tin one on it. We're also going to save that intake and put an original intake with the the twin SU carbs on it. But as you can see up underneath there, she's super good shape. So I think this motor's in real good health. He's going to go ahead and stick the other one back on here. It's just the two top nuts, just like the little green car, same style engine. And we'll finish letting that battery charge, and we'll see if we can get this thing to crank over. All right, y'all, now that we've let the battery charge up, we're showing just over 12.5 volts. Should be able to turn this thing over. Let's see if this thing will turn over for the first time in about 13 years. Got a light. We're in gear. It wanted it. Battery's weak. Alright, so as you saw, it spun over. The battery does have good voltage, but has low cranking amperage, and that's why it's turning over so weak. I'm going to try to boost it a little bit more. Probably need to just go and get a new battery for it. But first things first, I have a coil in it. So this is one that I had laying around from our previous MG, from the orange MG. It was an extra one that we had. I don't have the spade connector, so we're going to have to make a couple little adapters for it really quick. But let's get it in here. Let's see what we can do and see if we can get this thing, get some spark, and try to pop it off. All right. So this is slightly jerry-rigged, but you make do with what you got. We got two connections that got to go to the positive, 3 that go to the negative. Normally you'd have little spades here that they connect to, but I didn't have any extra ones laying around, so we made do with what we had. So let's see. White with the black is a negative. And negative. And negative. And the rest will be your positives. You got the one hot here coming from the ignition, and then the one going to the distributor, which on this car has been swapped out with a Halifax style electronic distributor. So that should be everything we need there. We'll hook that in. We'll pop one of these. All right, you guys are going to be my eyes. Tell me if that thing sparks or not. All right, so she turns over and she has fire. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited to see if the sucker will pop off. And I hate to do it, but I haven't rigged up any kind of fuel system yet. Let's hit it with just a little bit of carbon choke cleaner and see if it'll pop off real quick, and then we'll rig up a fuel system for it. Shouldn't be too terrible on this guy you just took up to here. Might end up pulling that Weber and go ahead and building it, but let's just see if it'll pop off real quick. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So what we have here is a very well designed and executed fuel system. As you can see, I've got a tank from a little Honda motor, to the fuel line, to the filter, to the carburetor, and we're going to see if this thing will run on its own juice. Wait, I can explain.
That was exciting. I'll give it to British Engineering this time. I can't help but to think that the reason it ran so good is because it's got that Weber on it. We know if it had the dual SUs, it probably wouldn't want to run on its own fuel. I do really love these little engines, but I know how temperamental the SUs can be. Our little MG here is still running dual SUs, and I have to say I do really love them. I love messing with them. I love the way they sound, but they can be temperamental, especially after sitting for a long time. I don't know about y'all, but I seriously can't believe that this thing fired up like that. Ran on a gas tank like that, idled on its own carburetor, been sitting for about 13 years. I know it's going to look like this one was staged because that sucker runs so good. Obviously you saw it blowing out some of the old junk from where it's been sitting. Oil pressure's great on this thing. It has been sitting long enough that all the hoses are dry rotted. You see it leaking coolant everywhere. So I couldn't run it too long. We'll have to go ahead and replace all the hoses on it and everything. But I'm really excited, and I hope you guys are too. Now, realistically, we did buy this car for a couple parts, and we bought it for that hardtop and roll bar. So this one will be one that we're going to go ahead and resell, send it on to somebody else that wants to have a fun project. It's in pretty good shape overall. It does have some Bondo in it, but it'll be a great little driver car for somebody that we're going to send on down the road and let someone else enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of getting this little car going again. Once again, I want to thank everyone so much for the positive love and support that we've had so far on this channel. I can't thank you all enough. Can't wait to bring more videos out for you guys, especially that Porsche, the old Ford truck we have sitting back here, the Rabbit, and all the other builds that we have coming up real soon. I've really enjoyed this, you all, and I'll catch you on the flip side.